Alex nearly doubled his salary in 4 years. But when a message about possible layoffs appeared on his phone, he felt more afraid than he had when he earned half as much. His apartment was better. His car was newer. His life looked more successful. But he could survive fewer months without a paycheck. This is the salary trap, the quiet process that can make $100,000 feel exactly like $50,000. By the end of this video, you will understand why every raise seems to disappear, and how to improve your life without allowing it to consume your future. If you enjoy clear visual stories about money and human behavior, subscribe. This channel makes complicated ideas easier to understand and remember. 4 years earlier, Alex brought home about $4,000 per month after taxes. His life was not impressive. He lived in a small apartment, drove an old car, cooked most of his meals, and thought carefully before buying anything expensive. Around $2,200 covered his fixed monthly costs. Another $1,000 paid for food, transport, and ordinary life. That left roughly $800. Some months he invested it. Other months it rebuilt his emergency fund. He did not feel rich. But he possessed something valuable that nobody could see. Margin. If his car needed a repair, it was annoying, not catastrophic. If work became unbearable, he had time to think before accepting another job. His apartment looked modest, but his life contained space. Then he received the email he had been waiting for. His first major promotion. Alex promised himself he would remain responsible. He did not buy a sports car or start ordering champagne. He made a series of reasonable decisions. The new apartment was $300 more expensive, but it was closer to work. The newer car added a payment, higher insurance, and better reliability. The premium gym was only $60 more each month. A few subscriptions saved him time. Eating out became easier now that work was demanding more of him. No single choice looked dangerous. That is what makes lifestyle inflation difficult to notice. It rarely arrives as one irresponsible purchase. It arrives as 10 defensible upgrades. After the raise, Alex brought home about $1,100 more each month. But almost $1,000 of it quietly found a new job. Better housing. Better transport. More convenience. More recurring payments. His income had risen sharply. His monthly progress had barely moved. And yet, for the first few weeks, he felt successful. Then something strange happened. The better life stopped feeling better. It simply started feeling normal. Psychologists call part of this hedonic adaptation. People can become accustomed to improvements that once felt exciting. The first morning in a better apartment feels special. After several months, it is simply where you wake up. The raise delivers one emotional event. The upgraded bills arrive every month. At the same time, Alex's reference group changed. He now worked with people who wore better clothes, visited more expensive restaurants, and treated international weekends as ordinary. Nobody forced him to copy them. But human beings often judge what is normal by looking at people who appear similar to them. When Alex earned $50,000, a reliable used car felt like success. When his colleagues earned 6 figures, that same car began to feel like evidence that he was falling behind. His life had improved in absolute terms. But the measuring stick had moved. This is why comparison is so expensive. It can convert yesterday's achievement into today's minimum requirement. And Alex was about to receive another promotion. The one that finally pushed his salary above $100,000. On paper, Alex had made it. His monthly take-home pay was now roughly $6,500 in this simplified example. But his fixed commitments had grown to around $4,300. Housing, transport, insurance, memberships, financing, and services were taking money before he made a single decision that month. Flexible spending consumed another $1,500. Only about $700 remained. When Alex earned less, he had saved around $800. Now he earned thousands more and kept less. His gross salary had nearly doubled. His financial resilience had shrunk. This is the difference between income and freedom. Income measures how much money enters your life. Freedom depends on how much of that money has not already been promised. Alex looked richer because his spending was visible. The apartment, car, restaurants, and clothes could all be seen. The missing margin could not. Then, on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, his manager scheduled an unexpected meeting. The company was reorganizing. Nothing had been decided, his manager said, but some roles might disappear. Alex nodded calmly, returned to his desk, and opened his banking app. The number surprised him. Part of his old emergency fund had paid for moving costs, furniture, and the deposit on his car. What remained would not support his current life for long. He imagined losing the apartment, selling the car, canceling plans, and explaining to friends why he suddenly could not join them. The fear was not only about losing income, it was about moving backward. That distinction matters. Once a higher standard of living becomes normal, reducing it can feel like failure, even when the older life once felt completely acceptable. Economists sometimes describe this as consumption ratcheting. Lifestyle can move upward one small click at a time, while moving downward feels unusually painful. Alex had used each raise to purchase a better life. But without noticing, he had also increased the salary required to keep that life from falling apart. The raise had not removed pressure. It had raised the price of escape. Three forces had been working together. First, adaptation. New comfort produces attention for a while. Then the brain updates its definition of normal, while the payment remains. Second, comparison. As income changes, people often enter new environments and compare themselves with a more expensive reference group. The destination moves at the same time as the traveler. Third, loss aversion. Upgrading feels like progress. Downgrading can feel like losing status, identity, or proof that the hard work mattered. This does not mean every lifestyle upgrade is a mistake. A safer home, shorter commute, better food, useful childcare, or meaningful experience can genuinely improve a life. The danger begins when every raise automatically becomes a collection of permanent obligations. Temporary income is fragile. Fixed costs behave as if it is guaranteed. Alex did not need to reject every pleasure. He needed a delay between earning more and requiring more, so he created 3 rules for the next raise. Rule 1 was a 90-day pause. For the first 3 months after any raise, Alex would make no permanent lifestyle upgrade. He wanted the excitement to fade before deciding what the money should do. Rule 2 was automatic separation. Before the increased income reached his spending account, half of the raise would move toward savings or long-term investments. If his monthly pay increased by $1,000, $500 could improve his present and $500 would strengthen his future. The idea resembles the behavioral principle behind save more tomorrow, make the decision about future increases before the money becomes part of normal spending. Rule 3 was one meaningful upgrade. Instead of improving the apartment, car, wardrobe, restaurants, travel, and subscriptions at the same time, he would choose the one category that genuinely improved his life. Before accepting a new recurring cost, he asked a different question. Not, can I afford this payment? But, how much freedom will this payment require every year? A $400 monthly upgrade is not merely $400, it is $4,800 every year, and another obligation that the next paycheck must protect. The question did not forbid the purchase. It revealed its full price. Alex kept his job. Several months later, he received another raise. This time, nothing changed on the first day. Half of the increase disappeared automatically into an account designed for his future. After 90 days, he chose one upgrade, a shorter commute that returned several hours of his life every week. He ignored the rest. A year later, his lifestyle looked only slightly better, but his emergency runway was longer, his investments were growing, and a message from his manager no longer controlled his breathing. Alex had not become wealthy by refusing to enjoy his money. He had stopped converting every temporary increase in income into a permanent increase in pressure. The real purpose of a raise is not merely to make life look richer. It is to make life harder to trap. So the idea worth remembering is this. Wealth is not only the money entering your life, it is the freedom that remains after your lifestyle takes its share. You do not have to freeze your standard of living forever. Just do not let it rise faster than your ability to say no. If this visual, story-driven format helped you understand the idea, leave a like. Subscribe if you want more stories that make money and human behavior easier to see. Now I want to know, what is one expense that quietly grew after your income increased? And if you want to understand why the first $100,000 can completely change the speed of wealth building, watch the video on screen now.